want to thank Ollie very much for helping us to put this together and allowing us to come and share our uh, what we love to do, which is talk about our library system. And we hope we make it interesting and fun for you, and that you pick up some things that you didn't know. I want to take a moment as we start all our programs to read our land acknowledgement. Jackson County Library Services acknowledges that its libraries are located within the traditional lands of the Cow Creek Band of Umpqua Tribe of Indians and the Modoc Nation, as well as the Shasta, Takelma, and Latgawa people, whose descendants are now identified as members of the Confederated Tribes of Siletz Indians and the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde. We take this moment to recognize the indigenous people whose traditional lands are where residents of Jackson County live today. JCLS is committed to fostering understanding and respect for indigenous people, and we encourage you to learn more about the land you reside on. So again, we want to welcome you to your library services. Our subject tonight, we want to start out by talking about really the overarching theme that we always cover is the mission of our libraries, which is for Jackson County, is that idea of educating people, of being able to educate and entertain, inform, get people together. And so we appreciate that. So over the next 4 Thursdays, we hope to give you an in-depth look at our library system, or as in-depth as we can in the 1-hour segments that we're going to have. We, as I said, we love to talk about the library, so we tend to get a little long-winded at times. But we'll cover everything from ebooks to E-rate, so it should be an interesting journey that you come along with us on. Just a housekeeping item to begin with. Since the webinar like this doesn't really have an audience interaction, if you have questions, put them in the Q&A that you'll find on your screen, and then answers will be emailed at the end of the series. And as well, the series is being recorded, and that'll be sent out as well. So the portion that we're covering tonight is navigating our website and catalog. And rather than try to show you a bunch of different screenshots in a presentation, we'll just be in our browsers, in our web browsers, and looking at things live, as kind of seeing things as they happen. So that gives you an actually, since we're talking about navigating the website and the catalog and accessing things, you get to see it in real time. So I'll be covering the website portion tonight, and then my colleague Ashley Johnson, who is the technical services supervisor, will be giving you a tour of the library catalog. So as our program described, we'll not only show you the navigation, but we'll also briefly show you some of the services and how to use some of the services that you'll find. And I thought, since I'm kind of a history buff, a good place to start is to show you some of the history of where we've been as far as our website. So I'm going to start sharing my screen, and we'll get started with that here. So what you're seeing is a screenshot of Jackson County Library Services website from October of the year 2000, which was the year before I started working here. So as you can see, this goes back to the early days of the web. But the interesting thing is that even these very simple web pages tell you something about us. If you'll notice down there at the bottom, already in the year 2000, there was an online book club. And so they were getting with it back then. That was done through a third party, but still that was something that was made available. So again, it shows that we've always kind of tried to be ahead of the game and kind of hit above our weight when it comes to those types of things. We move on, and what you're seeing here now is our web page, our website from June of 2010. So we've moved forward a little bit, and we kind of call this uh, the cardboard years fondly. As you look at that, you can see why we say that. And as you can see too, in the way the web was done at the time, we were trying to put as much information on the page there as we possibly could, and that people could access, even if it was a little busy. But again, you can see things that were important. We were starting to put important things up front, as you can see in some of our quick links about our library cards, how to do various things, some schedules and things like that. And then uh, moving on, this takes us to September of 2016. And at this point, we had um, moved our website in-house. We had used something called SpringShare and LibGuides, and we're constructing the website ourselves. And this was due to wanting to be able to have a timely response as well as fiscal responsibility. And so again, moving forward but still designing it so that the important things were up front. We'll talk about that a little as we go along with our current website. And that brings us to the current Jackson County Library Services website that you're looking at right here. We're pretty proud of it. It was a long time in the making and a long time coming. This particular site now is not hosted in-house as our last one was. It was built and it's hosted by an outside professional firm, but the library handles most of the day-to-day maintenance and the changes that take place on it with our in-house website specialist. Um, so as you can see by the brief tour of where we have been, we've come a long way, to use kind of a tired phrase. But that idea of looking at those things, it gives us a sense of where we are and where we're going. And you can see um, where we've ended up at this point with our beautiful website here. As I said, we consistently hit above our weight when it comes to our website. Um, I've been privileged to serve on a couple of committees where we've chosen websites and catalogs. And in looking at a lot of other websites, library websites in quite large markets, I found that this is really one of the best as far as navigability and even the look of the website, the aesthetics. It's designed to be friendly, it's designed to be welcoming, and to encourage exploration. And and that's what we want people to do. That's what we want you to do when you come and look at our website. As we were looking at websites on the committees that we were on, we looked at other websites. And when we saw this design posed by the website builder, we just kind of breathed a breath of fresh air. It was welcoming, it was friendly, and this is what we want our patrons to feel when you come to our website. So, for example, we're going to go ahead and get right into talking about the website here. One of the most important things in design is to make things intuitive, to make it navigable, and to make it easy. And so for the website, for one thing, as you notice here, we can scroll quite a ways down in the website, but pretty much everything that you need is what's called above the fold, meaning that you don't have to scroll down and find a lot of things. And what we've attempted to do is put the things here right front and center that statistics research shows us that people want to see the most. So for example, there on the left, right there in our big yellow buttons, you've got locations and hours and information on how to get a library card, which again, our research tells us those are things that people click on the most. And so with this website, those things were put where they're easy to find. Same thing with many other things on this above the fold section. Our catalog is easily accessible from here through a button and through the search bar. We have a slide presentation, you could say, that we can choose what we want to be on here, the important things that are coming up, things we want to highlight. For example, your library services, where we are right now. That's been advertised for a while there on our website. We have, and then dropping down, computers and Wi-Fi, library databases, again, things that we've found that people want to access. They want the access to that to be easy. Information for our kids and for our teens. So we've worked at putting a lot of information on here where you can easily find it. Then as you move down the page, it's easy to access our upcoming events. And again, something that we know people want to find. Easy to see what's coming up that day is listed right here across the front. You can scroll through and find things, the rest of the things happening that day. You can click on View Calendar and go to our main calendar. Whatever our current event is right there front and center on our website, our web page too. For example, right now it's our summer reading program. As we move into winter, you will see that our Rogue Reads reading program will be highlighted there. Another popular item with this is our digital library. So all of our information there is accessible to our recommended reads and down to our library blog. So, and everything, as you'll notice, is now it's ADA compliant. The coloring is made to make it easy for anyone to navigate, to find what they want. And so a lot of thought has been put into this website. Again, things like our hours being right here, where it's easy to see who's open right now, and when the next time, if not when the next time, that library will be open. So again, a lot of thought was put into this, and the other navigation tool that you find here above the fold is our tabs, and those are it's kind of an art and a science to put these tabs together. You need to pick one or two words that say a lot to explain what is in that tab, and so that it's intuitive. So that's how we're going to tour our website tonight, is we're going to use these tabs and show you how you can move around in our website, and at the same time answer the question of just what types of things you can access at your library. So for example, the Books and More tab is just what you would expect to find under that tab. We're looking at books, obviously. We start with our catalog, and then more, as it mentions. So we move into our ebooks, movies and more, things for kids, things for teens, Beanstack, summer reading, and on the list goes. So our tabs here, for example, take us to ebooks, movies, and more. We'll leave the catalog for Ashley to do in a few minutes. And this page is an important page. We have growing, our usage of our digital items just keeps growing. And you'll notice on all the pages that we go to, they're very similar. The layout is similar so that you'll recognize them. You won't have to find your way around the pages when you go to different pages. There'll always be the heading, the information, the coloring is the same. The choices here, the buttons look the same. There'll be related pages on the right. So again, you don't have to relearn it every time you go to a different page. It's made to be easy to navigate. This page shows us our digital services, Library to Go, which has audiobooks and ebooks. Our Hoopla service, which has the same thing, ebooks and audiobooks, but also music, comics, movies, television shows. Canopy, which is our another movie database that positions itself as an art house database. World Cinema, Kino Lorber, as it mentions, the Criterion Collection, things like that. And then an underused part of our library that we find a lot, the Tumble Book library, that's for kids. And so again, just an example of how one of these pages works, the information that you can find, made to be easy to navigate. Also on this page, you will find a Getting Help section, which we want to highlight because that can be pretty important. If you need help with one of our services, you can fill out an online help request form right here, and you will be contacted by a member of my department, the technology education team, and hopefully have all your questions answered. So again, we try to put as much helpful information on this on the pages as we can to make it easy for you to navigate and find the things you want to find. As I mentioned, some of the other things available here in the Books and More section, and sometimes if you haven't done one of our reading programs, you might not know about the idea of Beanstack. That can be pretty helpful. That's an app or a website that allows you to track your reading, either for one of our reading programs, our reading challenges, or you can use it just to keep track of your own reading. And so the instructions are here for you to download that, to be able to track your reading, and earn fun badges when we're doing our programs. And so another thing you can access through the Books and More section. Whatever our special event for reading is will be accessed off of this. One of the things that we like to highlight is, and again, you might not know about, is that you can get book advice not only by going to the library, but by requesting that online and providing some information and getting some book suggestions. So again, things available through the catalog right from the comfort, or through the website, right from the comfort of your own home. And then as well, we always highlight, again, our library of things, which is very popular. So whether you want to get attachments for your KitchenAid, whether you want to get a PA system for your party, there's a lot of things on there that you can access as well. Going back to our main page, and then again, our services tab here. So this is where we ask, what can we do for you? So under our services tab, as you'll notice, those are the things that we do. For example, the DART van. What can we do? Well, you may find us at your event. We may appear at one of the many events that takes place in Jackson County. The DART van stands for Direct Access to Resources and Technology. It's a large mobile hotspot, as well as having technology like laptops and tablets that you can access. And again, that shows up at many events and many of our partner sites around the Rogue Valley as well. Services also, one of the newest things that we have locally in Ashland as well as in Shady Cove are our book lockers. And accessing the website here tells you how to use those. So those two locations, Ashland at the YMCA and at the Shady Cove Library, we have book lockers that you can place a hold on an item, request that it be delivered to the locker, and then pick it up there even when the library is closed. So the idea there is we want to provide as much and as easy access as we can to our collection. Again, easy to access through the website. Also through the website, you're able to reserve one of our meeting rooms. You're able to make an interlibrary loan, even suggest a purchase of an item that we don't have. So again, when you think about using the website, kind of think of in terms of these tabs, services. What does that mean? Things that we can do for you, and those are all, they're the list, they're the things that we can do. And as I went down the list, I missed story times. We love our story times. We do literally hundreds of those a year. You can find the times there, as well as our computers and Wi-Fi in all of our branches that you can access. And then a kind of a preview, as you can see, some of our outreach and community engagement departments, our at-home services, support for schools, outreach to childcare, those things. Next week, you'll find out all about those from our community engagement manager. And then we have the Learn tab, which again, so when you think about that, you think of, so what can I learn at the library or by using the library? One of the things that we like to showcase there is under our resources, so all of our databases. So on this page right here, we have 45 different databases listed that you can access. And as you can see, if we look at the subjects tab here, pretty much anything you could want to find out about: art, music and culture, automotive, business, languages, everything from finance to homework help, jobs and careers. There's, as I said, homework help, 20 different databases regarding that, 8 different databases regarding literature and reading. So many things accessible through there. Some of those, and we have legends here. Some of them, most of them require a library card. There's a few that don't. Some of our Gale databases through the state, they're provided through the state, don't require a library card. You can just log on to those. But again, information for whatever you're looking for here. For example, if we go to C, kind of show you how this works, we find Chilton's Automotive. So if you have an older vehicle that can be worked on, you can visit that database and get access to in-depth information on how to do those repairs. And just a wealth of other information that is available right now, some of which we'll go into a little later as we move on through our system. Also, on the Learn tab, there's so much on here. There is both things for students and things for teachers. So homework help. We have things like BrainFuse, which is live tutors for students that can be accessed, as well as our databases specifically for students to help, and our Mango language database, of course, not just for students, for everyone. News bank, so looking up world news. Lots of information for students and everyone else. Also, again, on that for teachers. So we have education resources. As you can see on here, it's something, again, that perhaps if you're not a teacher, you may not be familiar with this, but one of our community engagement departments mans this and takes care of information for teachers. There's lesson plans relating to the library, the newsletter that's always on here, resources that are provided. And so we're very focused on early literacy at the library, and this helps our K through 12 educators and the students support that through the library. As I mentioned, there's also, I'm the supervisor for the technology education department, so our computer and tech help tab takes you to being able to find information there. So if you have not only questions about library technology, but if you have questions about technology in general, if you're trying to use uh, Microsoft, the Microsoft Suite 365, or you're trying to use Google Workspace, or you're trying to post something on Craigslist, or any one of a number of technological challenges that we have nowadays, we have our technology education team that can help you. And so that team is in all of our library branches pretty much every week. We're available at the email addresses and phone numbers that are on our webpage here. Um, you'll see on this page self-help guides for some of the things, the um, services that we talked about before, Library to Go and Hoopla. Um, there are tutorials that you can access. You'll see our event guides and then some tech information on our blog. Um, on that page we looked at earlier, you saw the online help form too that's accessible, where you can reach out that way as well. So again, everything that's under the Learn tab. And it goes from those resources also over to local resources. Um, that is local research. We have a senior resource page. Um, Another thing we highlight is our Dolly Parton Imagination Library. Um, that's a local resource that we like to teach people about. If you haven't heard of that, it's a program that's sponsored in part by Dolly Parton and through our United help from the United Rotary Club and the Jackson County Library Foundation. We have that Imagination Library here locally that brings books to kids 0 to 5. There's no income. It doesn't go by income. It's you can sign up for that through your library through this page and our website on the library, and kids can receive a book a month until they're 5. And so we want to try and sign up as many people as we can for that. As Dolly says there, you can see on the page, you can never get enough books into the hands of enough children. And so that's one thing that we definitely like under our Learn tab. As well, something that you may have attended, Windows in Time. That's a series that's been going on for many years now. It takes place in our Medford and Ashland libraries. A variety of guest speakers each month. And there's the in-person program, as well as it takes place on Zoom. And so many different subjects that have been covered and will continue to be covered. We also have an events tab, which is, again, just like it sounds. If we look at events, this can be very helpful if you want to find out what you can do at your library. What can we offer you that you can participate in? And it's very easy to use this schedule. As you can see here, we have the list of upcoming events, but it's very easy to take a look at events however you want to see them. So you can view events by category. If we look at that drop down, we'll see there's just an amazing amount of events by category. We had over 600 programs last year that our patrons are able to participate in. As you can see here, whether you want an author talk, whether you want to play a game, whether you want to see what movies we have offering in our programs, if there's some poetry readings or program available, writing programs, it's you can separate it by that. It's all on there. If you want to look at events for the kids, if you want to look at events for you, um, they're on there as well. Or if you want to know where certain events are happening, you can view events by library. So again, a very easily navigable page that lets you find our events easily, because there are a lot of them. And so we like to make it easy to do. Going back to we can have our tabs here. We go over and we go to the About tab. We come to basically about us. And so with this, there's some things that you may want to find information out about. For example, the library district. The portion there will tell you about a little bit of the history of our library district. It will tell you who the personnel are on the library district, our board of directors, and then it'll give information on our board meetings, the minutes, the packets, as well as our budget committee, the members of that, the resources, and so information on our fiscal years. We try to be very transparent. We give you information here on RFPs and bids. And so all that information about the library is also on our website. So again, we're transparent. If you want to find that on our website, it's right here. Our strategic plan, so you can see why some of the decisions that we make, why about some of the things that are offered, and the thing what we're trying to do to support our community. Scrolling back up there, as well as on our About tab. One thing too that I wanted to highlight was, as I mentioned kind of earlier, as we looked at our front page, was our Library Connect blog. So another thing about us is that we have a quite a repository of excellent writers on staff. And as you can see, lots of subjects here on our blog. That's accessible on our main page on our website all the time. In fact, the latest one here goes right along with the program that we're presenting, in that it's how to access and use our programs calendar. So our programs coordinator, Briston Strong, wrote the blog post here. And if you read through that, you'll find out exactly how to use the calendar on our website. So again, we want to make it easy for you. We want to make it navigable and easy to find the things that you want to find. And before we leave the website, one other thing I did want to show you was our search bar. If we go right back to the top, I'm going to go back to our main page. So our search, again, we want to make it easy for you. You can access the catalog from this page either with our tab over here or with the search bar. But you can also search our website. So you'll notice that you have a choice here. It always catches me. If I want to search the website, I'll forget and leave it on the catalog. But if you change this to website, if you have navigated, can't quite find what you want, you might be able to find it there. For example, if you were looking for a strategic plan and just didn't know where to find it, you could go to the search bar and type in strategic plan and do the search. And so we like to say that we're not Google. We like to think that our reference librarians are better than Google, but again, we do have some Google-like features. So here it'll tell you under library district that you can find information about our board of directors, our budget committee, and our strategic plan. So if you go to library district, as we were just a few minutes ago, you'll find right there the strategic plan. So another helpful tool on our website is that search bar. That is where you can navigate through the website. And that's just a very, very brief tour of our website. As we mentioned it, we want to be in depth, but there's so much there that it would take us a long time to go through and cover everything. So that kind of gives you some highlights, the way that you can navigate easily the website and find what you want to find. So now I'm going to turn it over to our technical services manager, Ashley Johnson, and she is going to take you on a tour of the JCLS catalog.
Hi. Hopefully everyone can see that and can hear me. My name is Ashley Johnson, and as Eric mentioned, I am the technical services manager for Jackson County Libraries. My department is responsible for the purchasing and cataloging of the collection. So this is kind of my baby. I love talking about it. So first of all, you can access it straight from the website, as Eric mentioned. You can do a search here, which will jump you straight to the catalog with an open search. Or you can click the button over here to link to it. Either one will get you there. Or you might have this one already bookmarked in your browser and you use the catalog more than the website. But they are interconnected. So we have the link back to the website right here by just clicking the logo. It's going to take you right back. Clicking the catalog, it'll take you back to the catalog. So it's pretty easy to navigate back and forth between the two. Um, at the top header, we're going to have anything just like on the website that's going on. So if there is some sort of an issue, a known issue with the catalog, we try and get an alert up there as soon as possible. Like this one says, we will be closed for Labor Day. We want to let everybody know that's out of the regular. So whatever is going on, we try to put it up there. Keep an eye on the header. Um, the top here, the navigation, are some helpful links. Of course, this is your home page. It's always going to take you back to the catalog homepage, not the website. There are some helpful links for book advice or reader's advisory type things. You can suggest a purchase from here or put in an interlibrary loan. These are going to link you back to the website pages that have to do with these things. Same thing for book clubs. We have some instructions on how to reserve book clubs, the list of book club bags we have, and some by age groups. That's going to link you back to the website. Some learn links take you to a couple highlighted features of what Eric highlighted there, like the ebooks, movies, and more page that he highlighted from the Learn tab in the website. You can search events just like you can search them in the catalog or in the website. You can also search them in the catalog and link to it from here. We have a plug. You may or may not know that JCLS has an app. It is available from your app stores. So you can browse the catalog on your phone using our app, going to the Apple Store or getting it on Google Play. It has a little icon. It's the Jackson County Library app. In there, you can browse, search, check your account. It has a digital barcode for your library card, so you could scan your phone at checkout when you're at the self-check machine or when you're with a librarian helping you. So it's kind of a cool new feature that we've had for about a little over a year now. We're trying to get the word out. So there's a link there to help you get the app if you're interested. And then some of right now we're highlighting summer reading. Clicking here will open a new window. It'll take you to the website for some information about whatever's kind of the highlight that's going on. So some of these change as we go forward through the year. And we'll go back to home. Okay, on the upper right side, we have the account information. So you can click to your account. Excuse me, I was already signed in, but I wanted to show you when you first get there, you will click sign in, put in your library barcode number and your PIN, which is a 4-digit number that is associated with your account, and sign in. It will automatically take you to your accounts page, which is pretty self-explanatory in its navigation. On the left here, there's different headings to show you what's checked out, both physical titles as well as what you might have checked out via the Libby app or our Hoopla offering. Those are e-content. Anything you have on hold, again, either physical materials or digital on Libby. If you have any fees associated with your account, forgot to turn something in, this will show right here and alert you. You can click on that to see what might be missing or lost that you need to return. You can click here to suggest a purchase. If it's something we don't have in the catalog and you think we should, you'd like to see it, you can click that button, fill out a materials request form. and it will keep a history of them associated with your account. So you can see what you have requested, see the response from the collection development department, whether or not they're going to be able to purchase it, and keep that list as a reminder of what you might want to look for in the catalog to see when it's added. Um, and some other things like you can turn on your library reading history. If you choose to do so, you can say, yes, please start my recording my reading history, and it will track what you have checked in and out in here. It is turned off by default, so you have control over that. If you turn it on, it will also start recording how much you've saved by using the library instead of purchasing the books, which is kind of a fun feature some people enjoy. There's also this link here, account information, in which you have some control in your preferences. Then you get to say a few things about how you see things in the catalog. If what your home branch is, if you want Ashland to be your home library, so it defaults when you search for things and want to place a hold, it'll say, okay, Ashland's your home library. We're going to assume that's where you want your holds to go unless you change it. That might save you a couple clicks. You can set your home library. You can adjust your username. You can say, as I search, I want my search results to default in this order. Again, you can set more than one holds pickup if you have a few libraries you use. You can tell it that about yourself. Things like that, just to kind of customize your experience within the library catalog. Clicking back to home. All of those things are available in the hamburger menu here in the Your Account page. They're also available once you are logged in by clicking on your name. You can jump straight to your reading history, straight to lists, and save a few clicks that way as well. Also in the hamburger menu, there is library hours and location, which is a helpful shortcut, I think. So you just pick what library you want to know about. It's going to show you a picture, an address, a phone number, the current hours for the day, as well as a map of where it's at and the hours for the week, as well as a link to something about that branch on our website. And you can link to multiple branches depending on what you click. So that's a helpful shortcut, I think. Okay, jumping into the actual searching of the catalog. Up here at the top is our search bar, and it's going to default to a keyword search, which is a very broad search, and it's going to default to searching the entire library catalog. So if you do a search for Jane Austen, it will suggest maybe what you want. You can click one or not, just hit enter and it will search what you typed, and it's going to give you your search results. Up here, it prompts you to narrow your search results. So I typed in Jane Austen and got 1,447 results, which is a little more than I would like to page through in my search. So I'm going to say, okay, I only want these things. I could say I only want books, which would be physical items. I could say I only want ebooks, which would be digital ones, most likely ones I could check out right now. If I only want an audiobook, that's going to be an audiobook on CD. Then I could pick that. If it's an album that I'm looking for that has something about Jane Austen in the title or a song maybe called Jane Austen, I could click music, movies, etc. So those kind of limit your formats if you click on them. There's also these options here, which say, okay, show me the entire collection. So right now I have clicked, I only want books, physical books, and it's narrowed my search to 237. But I'm gonna say, I really just want something I can grab off the shelf. So I'm gonna go ahead and click available now and don't show me things that are checked out or on hold for someone else. And I could browse those results. I'm still 222, that's quite a lot. So maybe I want to dive in on the left over here and narrow my results further. I might say, I am in Medford Library, so only show me books available now on the shelf in Medford, and it will adjust my search. And now I have 96 item books in the Medford Library on the shelf available that have something to do with Jane Austen. So that's much more pageable. It's probably about 5 pages worth of results to browse through. So maybe that's where you want to stop and you just start browsing. But let's take it a step further and say, I don't want her fiction. What I'm really looking for is something about Jane Austen's life, the time she lived in, the letters she wrote, who she was as a person. You can go ahead and click that you want a nonfiction title, and it will take those results down even further to show you things on the shelf available now in Medford that are nonfiction books. So now here we are, we have 27 results. So those are ones you could probably browse through and find on the shelf and grab in a pretty reasonable search. So here's a result record. It'll give you cover art. If you choose to see it, you can turn that off. It'll show you what format it is. This is a paperback. The author, of course, publisher, the year of publication, as well as what branches have it available, how many copies are available, and the call number, which is this little guy right here, which is what's on the spine label of the book and is how we organize titles on the shelf. So if you go to the nonfiction section in the Medford Library, you find the 600 shelf, you'll be able to find this book, The Jane Austen Diet, in the 613.2 section of the library. If you would like to know a little bit more about it, you can click into the record itself, and it will give you a little more information, location, how many pages. Maybe that's important because your book club only reads books that are less than 400 pages because you have a month to read it, or you only want something lightweight because I had a patron who had a wrist injury one time, so we were looking for paperbacks under a certain page limit so she could hold them and not hurt her wrist. So there's all kinds of information on here people might use. There's also a description of the contents, as well as recommendations for other things that might be a read-alike for this that you may be interested in. If you click down even further, you can find things like subjects to let you know a little bit about what this book is like. This one has a table of contents, tells you exactly what chapters and topics are covered in the book. So there's lots of things you can pull from in the record. There's a lot of information there. Go ahead and click back to the home. So that is keyword search in the library catalog. You can search by title or start of title if you only have a couple words. If you know the series name or part of the series, you can search that. So again, if we search Jane Austen, but this time as a series search, it's searching all of the records looking for Jane Austen in a series. And you'll note, watch, this didn't work correctly. Hold on. I think I need to add the word. I know there's a Jane Austen mystery series. Okay. There we go. So there are several books in the Jane Austen mystery series. And I'm thinking you can, these blue, anything in blue with the underline when you highlight it is a link. So if you click on that link in the series information, it's going to give you a series record result, which puts the books in order of publication. So you could read or place requests for the books in order of that series. The same thing is true for anything that is an author. If you're like, what? I've read this series and I really enjoyed it. What else has Stephanie Barron wrote? You can click on the author link and it will give you a list of books that the library has that were written by this author. So all of those little helpful links can help you when you do your you're doing research for readers advisory type things. Same thing is true of subject. You could search by subject, cookbooks, or, karate, dog ownership. All of those things are type subjects. You could search there and find those kind of things, which might be a little better search than just searching the whole library database for the word dog. You're going to get a ton of results. So those are just things that are little tips depending on what your search is. Going back to the home page. Uh-oh. Here we go. Okay, so on our homepage, we have these large browse categories at the top. Some of them will change, like we have a wild about category right now, which is in relationship to our summer reading theme. So those will change. Staff picks get updated regularly. Sometimes we'll highlight different language collections, things like that, but some stay the same all the time, and those are on order and new items. We know that a lot of our patrons are interested in what is the thing you just got? What is the newest thing to read? I want that because I want the new item by my favorite author. So we keep those updated all the time. Of note, the second an order is submitted to a vendor for a book or a DVD, whatever we're ordering, the record immediately is in the catalog available to be placed on hold. So when it says on order, this could have just been ordered today. It could have been ordered 20 minutes ago. It could have been ordered a month ago. But they're all things we are waiting to receive from our vendor. They are not in-house. New items is they have come into the library. We have verified that they are cataloged and ready for the shelf and ready to go out and be checked out into circulation. So new items is they're here. On order is they are new items, but we haven't got them yet. So we keep both of these up to date and in front and center on the catalog. Under each of these, you're going to have some general categories that are very similar. So these are DVDs, adult fiction, adult nonfiction, teen, children's, video games, library of things, and book club bags. Those are things that are on order. As in the new items, very similar, but a little more specific in some of those categories. I think we have audiobooks here. Games and puzzles have been added. So that gives you an idea of what has just been added to the collection. When you click on any one of those, it's going to highlight a different view of items depending on the category. So again, this is an abbreviated view called covers. If this is not your preference, you can change what it looks like by clicking grid. The grid view is going to give you a smaller piece of cover art with more words. So the title and the authors will be stated in print with a link. Another way to view this is if you're looking, you want to browse, page through whatever we have new to us in nonfiction. You can click the link here at the top, and it's going to open that browse category as if it was a search that you just performed yourself. So you could use your filters to page through this new nonfiction list that we have provided you, and with your own customized filtering on it as well. If you find something you like in this list, you immediately click place hold if you would like to have it delivered free of charge to your branch. You can tell it, I always use Jacksonville, so please don't ask me every time, and it won't ask you next time. If you like to pick different libraries, you're not going to want to have that ticked. You're going to want to leave it unticked so you can change it yourself when you place it. If for some reason you are looking for an item, like say you're going on a trip and you're looking for books to come to you for that trip, and after that date, you don't want the item anymore, you can say automatically cancel this hold if I don't get it by, and give it a date, like a week, and it'll cancel that hold. So you don't have to do it. It'll just do it automatically. And then you click submit the hold request and it adds it to your account. Of note here, if you click into the record, it's the full record. Oh, sorry, I'm in the search view. Let me go back. In this view, if you click on that, it's only going to pop up this abbreviated uh, screenshot of what the item is. It's not full. To get into the full record from the homepage, you do have to click more info, and that will put you into the full record. Okay. I believe that is everything I wanted to cover. As Eric mentioned, um, I mean, obviously, we just hit this really high level overview of our website and of the catalog. There's always a lot more. So if you do have questions, please go ahead and put them in the Q&A, and we will be reviewing those, and we will make sure that you get an answer to those questions.